Welcome to the June 21st, 2021 Rotary meeting. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, singing the Canadian National Anthem, and singing of the U.S. National Anthem, followed by the four-way test. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Canadian National Anthem. Oh, Sons come with see the true storm from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Lucky our land, glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And Tim Edwards is going to start us off with the national anthem, Stars Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the thirsty yea, through the night, and our hearts still say was that star spangled and for the land and the home of God. And we will repeat the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? With that, Kathy Birch, if you'll come up for our invocation.
Please bow your heads as each of us give our own thanks according to our personal persecution. Let us dwell on some thoughts that bind us together. You blessed us with friends and laughter and fun, with rain that is soft as the light from the sun. You've blessed us with stars to brighten each night. You've given us help to know wrong from right. You've given us so much to please. Lord, give us too a heart that is always grateful to you. Amen.
And John Healy, if you would come up to announce visiting Rotarians and guests to us.
Do we have any visiting Rotarians and guests today?
George?
This is David Niles, and he is a Jamestown native, born and raised, has lived out of the area for several years, and back in town working at the Rotary.
Welcome.
Also got Maddie DeJoy and Emma Anderson. They were our slap shotters. We'll share some of their experience later on.
Thank you. And with that, Randy Sweeney, if you will come up and give us your Rotary why. Good to see everyone today. It seems like every time we walk in here over these last few weeks, there's a face that I hadn't seen before. And so it's good to see all of you here today. My Rotary why in many ways is not a lot different than some you've already heard or some that you've other members have shared with you. Roll back the clock to September of 1997 when I had the opportunity to join the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation, and it was suggested that I consider a service club. I spent the next 14, 15 months going to all the service clubs, in the area. I visited this club and even, the Lakewood, the Faulkner, the AM Club, Lions Club, Kiwanis, etc. Ended up, it was 1999 in January when I joined this club. Obviously, I was looking certainly to develop relationships with people that I didn't know, but I knew were very influential in the community. And the thing that I didn't expect is that over the 20 plus years since I made that decision, I made a lot of friends. Yes, the relationships were there, but the friends were the part that really was the hidden gem in all of this. There were days on Mondays that you would think about things that you needed to do at the office. You need to contact this person, that person. You'd say, "Oh, I'll see him at lunch." And that just made it all the better. So my why is to say thank you to all of you for all that you do for the community. This club has still got a reputation, unbelievable reputation. When I tell people that I'm a member of this club, because they know about what this club does, they know that there's still active membership and doing great things, not only for the area, but internationally. And I'm just happy to be part of it. So for those of you that are relatively new to the club, say in the last couple of years, just look around, meet more people, get involved. It's been hard this last year, and you'll find out that when you get a chance to tell your why, you'll say a lot of it's about the friends I made too. Thanks.
Thank you, Randy. Please welcome Chris Anderson, who will introduce our Slapshot attendees, Emma Anderson and Madeline DeJoy.
Thanks, Kevin. Slapshot is unique to Rotary District 7090, and it promotes, celebrates, and fosters youth leadership. The program was founded on Rotary ideals, and it is a strong link on Rotary's youth development continuum: youth exchange, early act, interact, and Rotaract. For 2021, due to the pandemic, 40 high school students and recent graduates, 15 to 19 years old, joined together for a virtual leadership camp experience. Over the first week of May, participants experienced a fun-filled week of personal growth and leadership development activities. Each year, students leave Slapshot feeling more confident in themselves and prepared to strengthen their involvement with Interact clubs and other initiatives that will make a difference in their schools and local communities and beyond. Emma Anderson, a senior at Southwestern High School, and Maddie DeJoy, a junior at Jamestown High School, represented the Rotary Club of Jamestown. Let's have Maddie and Emma share some of their experiences with you.
We're both a little short here. My name is Madeline DeJoy. I'm Emma Anderson, and we both did Slapshot this year. I was recommended through Mr. Anderson, also through church. And that's your dad. Through my dad. So I didn't really know what to expect through Slapshot because I had never really heard of it before. I'd only seen it on other people's t-shirts from having gone before. And I really did learn a lot about communicating with others, critical thinking skills, and I met a lot of really cool people who I still keep in contact now a month later. And it was just a really fulfilling experience that has helped me a lot over the past month or so.
It was really interesting to learn about a lot of different things. I unfortunately couldn't be there the whole time because I work. But one thing I remember is learning about like a growth mindset and being able to like change your thinking. So that's something that has stuck with me from Rotary, or
Yeah, we met many people from around the county, from Canada as well, many Canadians. Sorry, that chicken was really dry, but really good. I think what I took most from it was critical thinking and how to solve many problems without judging the other person or freaking out over the problem, and being able to get through it really calmly and efficiently, and to find further solutions and to better others with their own problem solving skills.
We were really thankful for this opportunity, and we thank you guys for sponsoring us to go. So
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Wonderful job. So on to announcements. Rotarily, yours recorder today is Chris. Chris pulling triple duty.
Well, it's recording.
Okay. Committee chair announcements. Anyone on the Zoom call share anything for you?
No, I don't have anything. I just want to say thank you to Emma and Maddie for joining.
We are looking for somebody to help coordinate the club services committee. Norm, after many years of dedicated service, is retiring from that role. He's willing to help out, so he's not off the hook completely. But if you're interested in helping to make sure that, you know, things like our banner are set up, our 50/50s out, buttons are ready, we'd really appreciate that service. Presidential dinner event will be here at the Doubletree on Monday, June 28th. That's next week. We will be holding a mystery box fundraiser as well to add to our minimal fundraising total for this year. Tickets for the dinner will be $60, 30 of which will go to the club's community service fund to help our community and international projects. Golf tournament. Remember, teams have to be registered by August 15th. I know you have time, but it'll creep up on you quickly. Talk to Mike Bird or any other member of the committee if you have questions. And 50/50, we're at that point. There's Kathy.
It is for the first one, $64, so you get $32.
$32 winner. Last three numbers were 974.
Thanks to Mr. Dietrich for being the girls.
All right. Oh, there he is. He moved on me. I was looking for Mr. Conroe. If you'll give a hand for our Sergeant at Arms and reach deep in your pockets.
Yes, good day. Time to fill the bucket. So just come forward. Why do I need to say anything, right? I will. Vicki has to leave early and she has contributed. Thank you. It was a bit difficult, again, to find people in the paper. You know, the governor's lifted the sanctions, so now we can go out and do. So let's get our face out there. Let's be that service group that we are. Becky, I saw Becky come in. Cents for St. Susan's. Get the plate in right here. Yeah. The Cents for St. Susan campaign has started. Anything you would like to say about that? Yeah, but anything further? You had some good publicity in the paper and on the radio.
Yes, we're very lucky, and I don't have my list of sponsors, but I've got Northwest Bank and looking around, Key Bank. Oh, Hadley Weinberg's here today. He's one of our great sponsors. Even though he lives somewhere else, he comes back here quite a bit and does business here, so we're really grateful to him. If you want to donate like Hadley did, or to some extent, we have those bright yellow coin canisters. We're back on counters in the area again, point canisters on the counters. Last year we couldn't do that because of COVID. So thank you very much for everything all of you do to support the area and St. Susan Center.
Okay. I think we have a new fire person in our midst for volunteer fire service because I saw Tori pictured in front of the Ellington Fire Department in the newspaper. Community Foundation sponsoring of the Faulkner Fund. That was good. And then I saw Lisa. See, you were hiding. You must have been hiding behind Lisa on the Tree City planting. That was good. For the city of Jamestown, Tree City.
I was hiding behind Randy's.
You were hiding behind Randy.
You didn't see him because he was dressed like.
Ah, okay, okay, that's good. And Andy's not here today, is he? Good darn. Okay, we have a special session. I thought they were out. We will save another day for him. So that's pretty much it of the persons who are recognized in the newspaper. But we need to fill the bucket. So let's see. Thank you, Phil.
Go ahead and ask the question.
What was the question? Well, the question was, let's see, yesterday was Father's Day. And Father's Day first started out, let's say, 1902, 1910.
I remember that first father.
1942, 1960. What would you say?
Well, it had to be after Hallmark Hard Card Company, so I'm saying 60.
1910, 2 years after Mother's Day. Fathers got jealous. Actually, the young lady wanted to recognize her father. Got it going.
Wow.
So that is good. So Father's Day was Father's Day was in 1910. So Hadley, your table there. I know we've got some good intelligence sitting at the table. What president made it a proclamation that there should be a Father's Day? So it was 1910. Who was that? Was that Teddy? Was that Woodrow? Was that Tricky Dicky Nixon? Who do we think was the president that gave the Father's Day proclamation, making it more grandiose?
All right, we're gonna go with Teddy.
I would do that too, except it was Richard Nixon. Yeah, go figure. The world in which we live. So that's really good. But Ruth, you know, yes, it was.
My mother
Ruth,
turned 80.
let's see.
My mother's 80. My mother-in-law's 88 today. So that'll be.
Hallelujah. Good. Let's see, the shortest day of the year was yesterday, right, Ruth? We're at the solstice. August. Oh, that's right. Okay. A little shorter. Okay. So on the solstice, the sun is directly over the Tropic of, that's the fall solstice. The spring is Cancer. And the sun is furthest from the earth is furthest from the sun or closest to the sun? We have an expert. She is correct. So, do we have any happy bucks today?
So, this is easy because I saved so much money in the last year and 3 months that I can afford to throw in a 50. Anyway,
this is the first time I've had a chance to do this because nobody believed me, and I know all my brothers and sisters will. And what reminded me is our guest from Audubon, Roger Tory Peterson. I'm glad they got a new director because the last one didn't answer my call. So this is what happened. The last week in April, Nancy says, Phil, I think there's some swans out on the point. And I said, well, get the glasses and take a look. She says, they're pelicans. I grabbed the glasses and I said, they're pelicans. They stayed for 4 or 5 days and disappeared with the boat traffic May 1 from opening day of walleye season. I couldn't get the Post Journal down there. Audubon didn't answer my call. Roger Tory Peterson didn't care. Pelicans on Chautauqua Lake must be a common thing, only I thought it was something.
So my first happy buck is how great it is to have Phil Calla back. I also have a happy buck on over the weekend and on Saturday specifically. I attended the opening for Juneteenth at Jackson Taylor Park and a tree planting in memory of Vicki James and her service to the community. And it was just a great day. Another good reminder of why it's great to live here.
I put in a happy buck for Bill Larson and myself. We're just glad to be here.
Oh, we got a few happy bucks. How many baseball fans are in the audience today? Well, I can put a happy buck in for that because happy things are going to happen. You can go home now, knowingly, confidently, turn the television when you're watching baseball off. There's an off button on the television when the baseball game comes on. Turn it off because you are not watching baseball. The real game of baseball is not played at the major league level. The bases are not wider in another place. The mound is not changed. They're going to move it back even further. And you can't talk to the manager. They can't talk to the coach more than a 38th of a second. And you can't. And the players are upset with that crazy rule because 90 times out of 100, when the players were getting together to talk, they weren't talking about how to hold a curveball, how to hit the ball, why did you swing at that ball? They were talking about the pretty girls in the front row in the grandstand, and they stopped that. So that's not baseball. You have the opportunities. I don't think any of you are afraid of skunks. So you can go down to the stadium in Jamestown and you can watch the Skunks play. The Skunks will be there tomorrow night. They'll be there Thursday night and Friday night. So you can see real baseball. It's not a makeup. It's not minor league baseball where the players are in there and they don't care if they win that game or not. They need who can run the fastest, who can throw the ball the farthest, who drops the fewest fly balls. That's what they're trying to find out in minor league baseball. Those skunks down there are playing baseball, the real game of baseball. But even more game is more real because you have the chance in August to go down to the Babe Ruth World Series, where the young people age 13 will be coming from all over the United States and in our area, making up 10 teams that will play in that World Series down at the stadium during that period of time. So go down and see baseball or real baseball and turn the television off.
I'm reminded by Randy Sweeney about the friendships here in this club. How many of you ordered takeout in the last 12 to 15 months? Well, we have a dear friend in this club who is the best bargain around, and that's Vicki McGraw and Elegant Edibles. I last week ordered her pork lo mein, and it was better than any Chinese restaurant I've ever been to. So if you haven't tried Elegant Edibles, you can order next week's meals online ahead of time and pick them up on Tuesday, all ready to go, all prepared with instructions, and you just follow them to a T, and you will have the best meals in town. Thank you, Vicki. Dear Becky, how many years ago did St. Susan start? I counted every one of those pennies during the first, I think, 8 years. And I am thrilled at what you and your staff have done to further that cause. Thank you. Here's the golf trophy.
Kurt's got
Ah,
my co-winner.
we must talk to him.
We're the
because-
longest serving winners champions ever.
Well, I have found the golf club that is supposed to be sticking out of the arm of the man on the top of the trophy. So if you come across Kurt, he wasn't at the restaurant last week when I was there. I've got it and I'd love to put it back into the trophy where it belongs so that we can pass it on in August.
We got a new club. That's the club I lost when I first won years
Ah.
ago.
Well, I have a second one, so now we have an extra.
Well, it comes to that time that it's my pleasure to introduce to our club currently District Governor-elect Ann Bermingham, and in a couple weeks, District Governor. Ann has been a Rotarian for almost 25 years. For many of those years, she was a member of the Rotary Club of Hamilton and is now a proud member of the Rotary Club of Hamilton AM. During her time in Rotary, she has been involved in many activities from membership recruitment to organizing their club's TV auction to coordinating Rotary volunteers from 20 clubs who are involved in telling tales. She is a past president of both clubs to which she has been a member. She is also a past assistant governor and an active member of the Club Visioning to Action. In her 7090 district, she is also the district governor-elect and will serve as governor come July 1, 2021. She is the president of 2WA Consulting, Inc. and a McKay CEO Forum Chair. She consults on issues related to leadership, performance, and change. In her personal life, Ann is a busy volunteer, not only active in Rotary, but also involved as the past chair of the board of directors of the United Way of Halton and Hamilton. The other hats she wears with pride are that of being a wife to Gabriel Sedron and mother of 2 boys, Carmichael and Alistair. Ann, thank you for being here today. And we look forward to your talk.
Thank you, Kevin. And would you mind just giving me the screen sharing ability when you have a moment?
I'm working on that right now.
Fantastic, fantastic. Great. Well, it's wonderful to be here. And I have to tell you, you're my very first hybrid Rotary meeting, and you run it beautifully, just beautifully. I think it's fantastic the way that you're working with the camera and you have people come up to the podium and to have the rest of us online. It's just really, really well done. So congratulations to everyone in terms of that. I'm hoping that you are seeing the screen now with the presentation, are we?
Yes.
Great. Okay, great. So I wanted to share with you I wanted to cover 3 things when Kevin and I spoke that seemed that I thought would be relevant and important for today. So one is I want to celebrate your accomplishments over this past year and over many years. And so I'll say more about that in a moment. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the exciting ways that Rotary is changing and give you a glimpse into some of the ways that the district is going to be working to support you and your club in the coming year. So let's first, though, start with you. As I heard in the why and some of the other comments, you are an amazing club. You are actually the largest club in the district, if you didn't know that. But you've got such vitality, and I love the fact that you do the celebrating the whys, etc. And you have such a long history of doing things locally and globally since 1919, and be 102 years old is a pretty impressive trademark as well. And, you know, as you'll hear more about some of the ways Rotary is changing, as I think they're trying to catch up to you, because you do a lot of things with the other clubs in your area, and that's also fantastic. Love seeing that. But all of the many different projects that you do locally and internationally is fantastic. And I love some of the projects on your website from what you've been doing overseas, as well as what you've been doing locally. It's really tremendous. And then, you know, you support the Rotary Foundation. I know that you set a goal this year of raising $500 for the polio fund. There's two funds, as you may know, the polio and the annual, and you exceeded that. And I think some of that was your involvement in the Pedal for Polio, but other involvement as well. And you've also given over $1,000 to the annual fund, which is so important and so appreciated, because a good chunk of those monies come back into our own district and help us do good all over the world, as you all well know. And today was perfect. I mean, I didn't know you were going to have your two guests from Slapshot. Congratulations to both of you. Well presented. And your club has such a great history of doing so many different things in youth services. And I love that picture that I found of past Governor Bob Artis pinning your exchange student and the exchange students doing the dance. I've hosted 6 exchange students and they all love their Jamestown weekend and always come back just saying so much positive about that. And you're also really generous as a club because you not only do all your own things, but some of you also get involved in helping us in the district. And most recently, Sherry Mayton Quell's been helping us with the club leadership training project, and really appreciate for that. We had 275 people sign up for that training in May. And so Sherry, thank you for your help with that as well. So, you know, my first message is, you know, you are what Rotary wants all of us to be. I hope you've seen this vision statement. I might even gently suggest you consider putting it on your website, which is a great website. But our vision overall in Rotary International set for all of us is that we're people of action. We're not people of meetings, we're people of action. And you can certainly hear that in all your announcements and updates today. And the words that unite us, and I think they're really powerful, is together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. And that's the overall vision for all Rotary clubs. And I think it is such an important message because we really make greater impact, as you say, when you come together as a club, we come together in multiple clubs, and when we do things in our communities and focused all around. So, so congratulations for all of those points, and as I say, and for perfecting the hybrid meeting so early into your ways is fantastic. I look forward to being able to come to see you in person when they hopefully open the border soon, and I am getting my second shot next week, so I'm looking forward to that as well. But I do want to share with you a little bit about how Rotary is changing. It's actually one of the reasons I elected to put my hat in the ring and try out for the selection for governor, was because I really do think there's so much in Rotary. I've been a Rotarian for 25 years. There's so much that's fantastic, but we do need to change. And I think some of the directions are really exciting. So as you may or may not know, Rotary International has a, rather than strategic plan, they actually call it an action plan. Why is that? One, we're people of action, and it really just speaks to how are we changing going forward. And there's 4 fantastic themes in them. And I noticed on your site, you do have a strategic plan, which is great. And I don't know how many of your actions fit in these themes, but I think they're powerful. It's saying that our 4 themes in the Rotary International Action Plan is we need to increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. And so I'll just share with you a little more about what some of those things mean. So increase our impact is, as you say, what you've already been doing, which is coming together. And, you know, when Governor Frank Adamson came up with the idea of the Great Lakes Watershed Cleanup, he never imagined that 17 districts would join hands to do just that. And it's been a tremendous accomplishment, and hopefully it's about to come out in the Rotary magazine, we hear. But those types of things where we all come together, do big projects, is the way forward. And that is exactly what Rotary International is encouraging all of us to increase our impact. And you may have heard that now Rotary International is doing some big, large grants with partners called programs of scale. There's one right now to create a malaria-free Zambia that is well close to its end. And anywhere that we can really make a big impact, that's where we want to focus. And that includes putting our projects and our programs up in the Rotary Showcase. And not sure how many of you have looked at that. It's on my Rotary. The brand for it is marked right there on my slides. But that's where we can actually count how many hours we give, what kind of impact. But we also can put it up so the rest of the world can see, and you can search tree planting and see all the different clubs in our district that do it or otherwise. So I really encourage you, to talk about your impact. That would, there's so much to celebrate. And with that, just a very gentle suggestion, which is I know some of your community projects on your website hadn't been updated in the last couple of years. And I know sure we all had COVID, but you have been doing things. So you may want to look at that as well, because we want to not only make impact, but also make sure we're proud of what we've actually done. The expanding our reach concept has a variety of different things into it. As the picture at the bottom shows, one of the things is when we do things like the watershed cleanup, to not just invite Rotarians, but invite friends of Rotarians, family of Rotarians, non-Rotarians, Rotarians yet to be, and that we really need to make so many more of our things more inclusive, and so that people get to understand more of what we do. And that inclusive includes satellite clubs, which is the notion of having you have your own club and the members of the satellite club perhaps meet in an evening once a month instead of at your Monday noon. They're still members of Jamestown, but a lot of times that actually works really well to create a club that maybe works for a different age group or a different demographic, and they're still apart, but without having to make it all work for the one preference or the other. And that's certainly a way that Rotary is expanding our reach. And plus, we've really become interwoven with Rotaract. They are now full members of the Rotary family. Actually, are paying dues next year to Rotary International or the year after. And we are, so you'll hear more in the district, but we are really trying to intertwine them and including strengthening their clubs, because they have fantastic, 30 something and under 30s. And if we can strengthen their clubs, then they're naturally going to flood into ours when the time is right for them. Enhancing and engaging participants includes, doing surveys and finding out where everyone's at. One of the Rotary International surveys that was done not too long ago, which I think is very insightful, is it talks about how when we're in Rotary, we all have different needs. And in particular, those that are fairly new to Rotary in the first couple of years of Rotary, they really join for, as you said in your why, but the friendship or the networking. More than networking, they really want to meet new people in the community, do things with new people. After about 3 years in Rotary, the driver of the why becomes service, and people just get so excited about what we're able to do as people of action, uniting locally, internationally, and that's the driver. And then after about 7 years in Rotary, 7 to 8, how many people in the room and on the screen have been in Rotary for more than 7 or 8 years? We just see with a show of hands here. Okay, so after 7 or 8 years, our motivation is the friendships, is the fellowship. And so why do I share that with you? Because one thing that happens in some Rotary clubs is we get some tension because the new people want to network and the people who've been there a while say we don't network. The people, some people want to really get involved in service projects. Other people are like, oh, I've done that. I want to hang out with my friends. So we really got to build our clubs so they really work for all the different needs. And I think that's really important. So that's one way of engaging participants, is finding out what people are looking for, or finding out part of the whole Rotary International is increasing our professional development opportunities, like the Toastmasters partnership that we have internationally. I don't know if you've done any work with the Toastmasters in your area, and some of the other professional development, like the Rotary Center for Coaching that our own district has created, where people can learn some skills of coaching that will help them in their business. And then the last part of the Rotary overall action plan is adapt and innovate. And so at the highest level, they're looking at everything from the roles of governor, roles of people in the district. How can we make this so it works better in today's world, that it's not so onerous, that people that can do it and not get overwhelmed. Last year's President Mark Mahoney, I remember him actually writing in the Rotary International magazine. I don't always read the president's message, but I happened to read it this time. And he said, you know, we should never let Rotary get in the way of our vocations. And we've got to find a way to, you know, make it all work. And adapting, hybrid is one example, but there's so many more ways that Rotary is trying to adapt and change. And when I asked Valerie Wafer, who is our representative on the Rotary International Board of Directors, and next year will be the vice president of the board, with Shaker Mahi is the president. And she certainly said, you know, try anything and everything, all goes. We just need to really find some new and different ways to adapt to Rotary to work with all the changing needs in the world. So that brings me to the third and final thing that I just wanted to share with you, which is some of what we, using those 4 themes, at your district, we have a district strategic plan that talks to us about what we're trying to do differently with the strategic plan. The strategic plan focuses on the do different. There's lots of the day-to-day that the district has to do, just like your clubs have to do. Get Slapshot ready for next year, prepare for inbounds coming in a year's time from youth exchange, you know, make sure there's good training for president-elects and for club officers. That's all the operational. But in the strategic plan, it's some of the do different messages. And so what myself and all the other district volunteers are going to focus on in the coming year is our strategic plan. We're in year 2 of it. So there are 5 strategies, and I'll just share with you a couple of the actions and then open it up for some questions. So this was based on, we asked all the presidents, all the president-elects, and all the volunteers on district council to complete a survey, which they did in May and June, and that really led to these actions. So people said that they really thought it would be helpful if the district hosted some Rotary one-on-one chats for new members so that they can learn more about the district, that there's Rotary beyond my club, and also learn a little bit more about the foundation and just other things. So we're going to hold quarterly ones. So we will be reaching out to you to ask what new members, even ones that have joined the last year or so, might be interested, and certainly ongoing. We are working to develop new satellite clubs and passport clubs. We hope to have quite a few. We have about 6 in play right now that are about to begin. And so that is certainly an area. And we have 8 Rotaract clubs. And we actually, for the first time ever, are going to have 2 Rotaract assistant governors looking after the Rotaract clubs on your side and on the Canadian side. But some of them are not bursting with members either. And so we're really going to work on helping them to strengthen their clubs and so that they can have really effective. They also even little preview, but they're actually have just put together their first kind of joint service project for all 8 Rotaract clubs to be involved in planting trees. So they're really trying to come of their own, and we're excited about that. We are going to hold 3 large days of service, and we want 20% of the people coming to not be Rotarians. So we're certainly going to keep the Great Lakes Watershed Cleanup. We'll book it again for next April, when it is around Earth Day. I know my club's also doing one because we weren't able to do it in the spring. We're going to do one on September 18th because it's World Cleanup Day. So we're doing 2 in this coming Rotary year. But so we're going to keep that. We're also, when we have the convention, which you'll be hearing more about it, but our district convention in the 3rd week of October on the Saturday, the 23rd, there will also be a chance to do service projects, probably in 4 areas in our district, or it might be all over in our district. People are going to get a chance. And then the 3rd one, we haven't totally figured out. We've got a whole active service committee working on it, but we're thinking about maybe uniting us together. We almost all the clubs do something about food security, or something like that. And so it's not saying, can you do another thing? You're already so busy, but it's more, let's celebrate all the different ways we help with food security or whatever it might be. So we're going to keep those large days of action going. And we also are going to keep an eye on, and we can circle back to you specifically on this, but in terms of looking at our growth, there's 2 numbers to really look at. One is the attraction rate, and the second is the attrition rate. And, you know, it's a little bit hard to tell you, it's a little bit hard to say out loud, but in our 67 clubs in our district, we have one club that is green. And I'm sorry, it's not you, but we have one club that's green in terms of it has a strong attraction rate, a strong attrition rate, and the attraction rate is bigger than the attrition rate year over year. So we're going to work to help clubs really improve that and come in with very focused ways of working with your membership leads to help with that, because we really want to change that. So we have at least 10 clubs that are in that level by the end of the year. In terms of strategy 2, we want to inspire action through education and dialogue. So we're going to be promoting more. In fact, a calendar's just been put together with the web talks, with club leadership training, Rotary Leadership Institute, but not only providing those events, which will continue to be online, that seems to be wildly popular, but we're also going to develop some different short videos that you can just watch right at your meeting instead of having to go on another day at another time. You're also welcome to invite anytime some of our district leaders, our chair of youth services, our chair of membership, anyone that you want. There's lots of people that are available that are very happy to come and present either to a committee, like your public image committee, if you have one, talk about some of the needs, or your membership committee, or to your club in general. So that's part of that strategy. Our third strategy is about increasing our impact, awareness and impact of our brand. And so we are encouraging every club to have a public image lead, and they work directly with our public image committee to help them with different things, posting and so forth. But we're also going to run at least 3 social media campaigns this year based on different things. It could be membership, it could be getting more volunteers driving out to something like the Great Lakes Watershed Cleanup. But we're going to run some campaigns that then all you have to do is plug and play or copy and put out. And so instead of every club coming up with a brilliant campaign, we're going to run some collectively, increase our impact, and do that. And we're also trying to create some different material about some of the great projects everyone's doing and make sure that they're really in a format that can easily go out to not only the local press, but all the different social media sites. So we're really trying to help clubs to do that. We did it last year with the website refresh. I'm glad you participated in that. We're going to do it with a variety of other things in this coming year. The fourth thing we're going to do is working on around the foundation is, as you may or may not know, we moved the whole grant qualification process, not only online, but the grant process itself is also now online. It's easy peasy. It's so much better, but we're actually even changing how you qualify and making it a lot more flexible and a lot easier. And you'll be hearing more about that. Also, November is Foundation Month, and we asked everyone to come up with a campaign. So we said, well, that's a lot of work for everyone. So we're going to come up with a plug and play campaign that you can tailor, but we're going to have stuff for your newsletter, different things, so that it's easy for you to, get involved in Foundation Month and help some of your newer members learn more about the foundation. We're also going to be able to show people more about the annual fund and the different projects that helps internationally and in our district. And that survey I mentioned, a lot of people said that people don't realize that the annual fund supports projects in our district. And so we really want to show that out to the world and make that more effective. The last final strategy is about getting more clubs engaged in youth programs. You're already very much engaged, which is fantastic. But some of the things we're promoting is short-term exchange. That's an exchange where the students go out in the summer, and whatever student goes out to a country, that child from that house comes to their house. So you don't have to find other host families. It is literally a reciprocal exchange for the summers. We want to really drive that and get many more clubs involved in that, and that overtakes some of our issues with finding host families. The Youth Exchange Committee is also coming up with some other ways to help us find more host families. And there's also another program that maybe you aren't familiar with, maybe you are. It's called New Generations Exchange. And someone under the age of 30 can put together what they want. So let's say my son just graduated with a degree in geography information systems. He's 24. So let's say he determined that he would really like to go to, I don't know, Guatemala or Chile to learn more about his craft there. Well, you actually connect with the Rotary Club there. You find out who might have a volunteer experience for him, or otherwise he can go for 2 weeks, up to 6 months, whatever the individual can afford in terms of if they're going to be away from work. The Rotary Club works together to customize it. And while they're there, they also do a humanitarian project. So we have a lot of outbound and Rotary exchange students that are now back. We have so many people that this has such great appeal. And so we're going to be working on doing that, as well as right now there's a project in place to refresh and revitalize RILA. And so we're looking at all of those sorts of things as well. So there's lots ahead for the year. And what I would really be happy to entertain is any questions you might have or comments, because we really want to make sure you know that we do all these things trying to help you. So if some of this isn't helpful or some of it is, love to hear that. Any kinds of questions that you want to ask them, I'm happy to answer those as well.
So if anyone does have questions, I would ask that you come to the mic because Ann won't be able to hear from you from the back of the room.
Unless you yell.
And I think you covered everything. No questions today? Well, with that, Ann, we really appreciate you being here and sharing a ton of great information about what's going on in the district. We look forward to your in-person visit in the future. As you know, one of Rotary's major international programs is to eradicate polio in the world. We are down to just 2 countries in the world where polio exists. In an honor and thanks to your presentation to our club today, we will make a donation in your name that will vaccinate 4 children who will never experience polio in their life.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I really appreciate that. That's very touching.
And next week, just a reminder, we are back here, but at dinner time, 6 p.m. to celebrate this past year and look forward to next. Please reserve your place online at jamestown.newyorkrotary.org. You have all received emails about the event. Talk to President Joni if you have any questions. Pre-registration, I believe, is mandatory. So please do that as soon as you can. Remember that Rotary opens opportunities. What opportunities will you like to see and make in your community a better place? Thank you. We are adjourned. Thank you, Ann.